Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report reaction. We are live here after SmackDown has just gotten off the air. WWE on Fox. Dameon Nelson sitting here alongside. Oh my God, it's finally happened. He's not here. Yes! 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 David Hero. He's actually in the green room watching the end of SmackDown where we saw John Cena and Bray Wyatt coming together. Don't know what happened with that, but we're going to discuss what happened with that on our second live show of the evening here for the Pro Wrestling Report reaction. So thank you for joining us earlier on PrimeTime. As you saw earlier on PrimeTime, as we were live on Fight, we did not get a chance to talk about the remaining WrestleMania matches that we intended to. We had more hot news, so we're going to be going over all of that tonight, along with taking your live comments right here on our socials. We're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook, we're live on Twitch, we're live on Twitter. And if you want to interact with us, just be sure to use the hashtag PWRLive. Want to welcome those of you who are joining us and commenting already. My Mind Over Your Matter on YouTube, Joseph Z on YouTube, and Jeremy Besaw on Facebook. So thank you for joining us wherever you are. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the broadcast so that you never miss an episode on YouTube. Like us on Facebook and also follow us on Twitter at PWR360. We're going to be joined here by Linda Kay in just a little while as well. She's having some connection issues from her home. But meanwhile, and in the meantime and in between time, SmackDown tonight, it kicked off. It kicked off with the Miz TV segment, which featured the other tag team participants in that big matchup. It was the Usos along with the New Day, and that, of course, just ended in a bit of a brawl. Not quite as explosive as we had hoped it would be, but the endorsed Miz still showing why he is endorsed and why he is great in that segment on SmackDown tonight. SmackDown also decided to go back in the annals of time to WrestleMania in Orlando in 2008. I believe that was 24. Yes, indeed it was. The historic match between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. It was Ric Flair's first of two retirement matches, I believe it was. But just such a powerful matchup. And I was there live along with the man they call Meathead in Orlando for its first WrestleMania, and went to the Raw after, before the Raw after Mania was just simply obnoxious. And it was special. It was very special being there, watching that match, watching Ric Flair's last match, watching the tribute to him the next night on WWE Raw live on the USA Network. But one very interesting thing happened tonight on SmackDown. They finally, without any buildup, announced that Roman Reigns is out of Mania. Well, let me rephrase that. They didn't announce that Roman Reigns is out of Mania, and I know this is not news to a lot of you, but we have committed to being spoiler-free. We did tell you Roman Reigns was out of WrestleMania, but we did not tell you who replaced him when the matches were taped in last week in Orlando. Tonight, WWE, out of nowhere, like the RKO, told us that it would indeed be Braun Strowman going one-on-one with Goldberg for the championship. No explanation at all as to where Roman Reigns went. And I thought I read something earlier today from Stephanie McMahon that indicated that they were going to come up with a very creative way to explain Roman Reigns' absence from WrestleMania. Now, Roman Reigns earlier in the week went very public with his response to those who had some names to call him in reference to him deciding not to participate in WrestleMania. But tonight, wait a minute, look who has decided to join us. David?
Yes.
How are you? This ought to be fun. This just ought to be a blast.
I'm fantastic.
Fantastic. How was the rest of SmackDown? We're talking about the announcement that Braun Strowman is replacing Roman Reigns, which wasn't an announcement.
That was hot news, wasn't it?
It was hot news without any hype or hoopla. Interesting way WWE chose to approach that tonight. Again, unless we've missed something, and please tell us in the comments if we have missed something. They just went up and said a graphic. Now, Michael Cole did say before that, he said breaking news about WrestleMania, but that was it. You know
what? I searched everything. I was looking under rocks, under tweets, under Instagrams.
The Rock?
There was nothing that there's nothing creative or new or exciting that would explain why Braun Strowman is there.
Yeah, how did we get there? What's the story? Why is he replacing Roman? Why is Roman not there? Is this another case of WWE saying, if we say it never happened, it never happened?
Well, I'm willing to bet, I'm willing to guess that I'm sure they will explain it more during WrestleMania than they would on SmackDown.
But how do they do that? Because they have now said he's being replaced without any angle or anything
Because
to
they're going
explain.
to have to do a pre-tape. They'll do an interview with Braun Strowman or Goldberg. I mean, put it this way. All this means to me is Goldberg retains.
You said that Wednesday on PrimeTime.
There's no way Braun Strowman is going to defeat Bill Goldberg because
But maybe he is. Maybe he will.
then, okay, here's what happens. If that happens, then Bill Goldberg's WWE run is nothing more than a transitional champion.
Well, should
That's
it be
it.
more than that?
If he's a Hall of Famer and iconic, give him at least more than one title defense. Because he has yet to successfully defend that championship since he's been the champion, the Universal Champion, and now the Heavyweight Champion.
I think that it is a bit obvious, yes, that Goldberg will probably win. But I do think WWE is going to make it a point to do some shocking and unexpected things at WrestleMania this weekend, and that could be one of them. Maybe Goldberg walks out and goes into SummerSlam, the next WrestleMania, as still the champion.
Well, I don't think that will happen. I think Goldberg will get to SummerSlam, and that's where he'll eventually drop it. Bill Goldberg does not want to be a full-time wrestler right now.
Well, he doesn't have to wrestle full time up until that point.
Well, I'm just saying Goldberg defeats... Put it this way, if Braun Strowman, he struggled with Brock Lesnar multiple times. Struggled with Roman Reigns. Bill Goldberg, jackhammer and spear Braun Strowman. Which I don't think... Which is unfortunate because Braun Strowman is everything you want to have as the WWE champion. He has the size, he's charismatic, larger-than-life personality, cuts a promo, believable. Like, I would never want to fight someone the size and strength as Braun Strowman. You might, but that's your thing,
I'd
not
win.
me.
I'd win. So how should, now that we can talk about this and we hadn't talked about it, and we'll get to a question here that you saw on the screen from Byron Harding, who asked, why is Roman being replaced? Well, as we talked about on PrimeTime a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, whatever it may have been, Roman Reigns electing not to participate in WrestleMania and made that choice due to the health of him, his family, and whatever else is going on, and you can't necessarily knock that choice, but WWE had not addressed it. In fact, we questioned on Wednesday night's primetime whether or not WWE was in the right or in the wrong for continuing to promote the fact that Roman Reigns was going to take on Goldberg at WrestleMania when they knew it wasn't happening, and there were differing opinions on that, but that's how we got to the here we are now. I don't think they handled this right. I don't think that just randomly throwing up a graphic and saying now it's Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, that it makes everything okay.
No, but what they did now is now they've created buzz because now people are like, whoa, wait, pump the brakes. How did this happen? First thing I did was I looked at their Twitter feed to see if we missed something, and we
Right.
were watching the show
Yeah.
from the beginning. Didn't see anything. Cal said that he saw a video on Instagram that was promoting it, but it's now making people search Braun Strowman online. It's making people search WWE to see what happened. They're now looking to see Roman Reigns. They are creating a online buzz, a Google search buzz, a social media buzz regarding Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
But here's the thing, and here's the question to ask is there anyone who was going to watch or buy WrestleMania, which you can buy here on Fight TV? Is anyone who was going to watch or buy WrestleMania now not going to do so because Roman Reigns is not on the card? That's the question.
Not at all.
Nobody?
Okay, what? Maybe 1/3%?
Roman, very popular with women and children,
Well, but so is John Cena.
who is on the card.
So is Drew McIntyre. Women love Drew McIntyre.
Do they?
Absolutely.
How do you know this?
Because
is it written down somewhere?
I pay attention.
How do you pay attention?
I see and I listen.
At what?
Whatever's being talked about.
That's the biggest work I've ever seen here on this show. Yeah, they could have. What story? All right, book it. What story, if they were to have told one, could they have told to explain why Braun Strowman is replacing Roman Reigns? And again, if they did something and we, like seemingly everybody else, missed it, please tell us right now in the chats. But
No, you know what
what
it
would you
is?
have done?
What you have to do is you just have to be honest and real and say, hey, I mean, it's no secret what's going on in the world today. And yes, we watch wrestling and other shows to get to lose that reality. But if you're honest with the fans and say, hey, listen, we all know Roman Reigns. He has defeated leukemia twice. His immune system isn't as strong as he would like it to be. Is not comfortable in this environment. How can you fault the guy? How can you boo the guy if you keep it real and just be honest? Because now Roman Reigns went from Superman punch, larger than life superhero, to show he was vulnerable when he had to walk away for leukemia. And the fans embraced him. Once again, they're now showing that Roman Reigns is like everybody else.
He's a human being.
He's humanized again, which how can you not embrace the fact, yeah, hey, you know what? You take care of your family, you take care of whatever you got to do, you come back and be healthy, don't put yourself in harm's way. Because let's say he would have wrestled, okay? Knowing in the back of the head what his health issues are, and God forbid he were to get the coronavirus.
Yeah, but
Let me finish.
I'll let you finish.
Don't rake my eyes yet. We'd all be like, wow, what a dumbass. Why would he do that? Why would he risk it all? But now that's not an option for us. I just think be honest, be truthful. No reason to come up with some ridiculous cockamamie story, because what can you do?
But they didn't. There is no story. There's no explanation. None of that was said to. Graphic, breaking news, Braun Strowman.
And you want to know something? That will work also.
Will.
Absolutely. Because
The question isn't-
here's why. After WrestleMania, is it going to come up again? Come Monday, it's going to be old news.
Oh, yeah.
Something
Goldberg and Roman Reigns' issue has still not been resolved.
And then it can be resolved at SummerSlam.
But Goldberg doesn't want to work full-time. That's what I just heard from somebody.
Full time is like every month. He's not going to defend again until SummerSlam.
Sounds like what I said earlier that you disagreed with.
No, I didn't. Why would I disagree with you?
Folks, we are now joined by the lovely
Whoa.
Linda Kay, the social media diva. Linda, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, fellas. Excited for WrestleMania weekend. Officially hit tomorrow.
It is here, Linda. SmackDown has gone off the air. You watched it much like we did. The current conversation, Roman Reigns officially announced as replaced in the matchup against Goldberg. Unceremoniously so, as we just found out that Braun Strowman officially now, announced by WWE, is going to replace Roman Reigns. Should they have handled it differently, in your opinion?
Yeah, I would have liked, even if it was done via video chat, Goldberg calling out who's next. I mean, they could have went in with Michael Cole just saying, due to, I don't know, unforeseen circumstances, or, just mentioning flat out, like you said, Dave, Roman Reigns is no longer going to be competing at WrestleMania, but joining us live via satellite is Bill Goldberg, and having him just simple conversation and then simply asking, who's next? And then having Braun Strowman pop up saying, I'm next. And it's time for Goldberg to get these hands. Just a little something I would have liked to have seen, but, it is what it is. We'll get a great match regardless. And I don't know. We'll see how this one goes and who actually will come on top with the title.
Well, various differing opinions. Thank you for that opinion, Linda. We are very, very much enjoying your comments here in the live chat coming through this computer device here, and
there's a lot of comments.
A lot of comments, and I still think that this. I don't know that this was. Again, we said there's no playbook. There's no right. There's no wrong. And I did ask earlier if this was the right or wrong way to announce that Roman Reigns is replaced. So if people, as you say, David Hero, are not going to not watch WrestleMania, are not going to not buy WrestleMania, will they be satisfied, whether or not they're going to do that, will they be satisfied with the lack of an explanation as to the absence of Roman Reigns.
Absolutely. There's without a doubt no question about that.
I 100% disagree.
When you have Randy Orton versus Edge, John
Nope,
Cena
nope,
versus
nope,
The
nope,
Fiend,
nope, nope.
you have plenty of other stuff to keep your mind busy.
Tuned in to see the big dog. I tuned in to see Roman Reigns. Mommy, where's Roman Reigns? Daddy, where's Roman
then you
Reigns?
know
What happened to Roman? Why is this other guy? Who's this guy with the beard?
Then contact Fight and say that this isn't what I wanted and get your money back. But here's the thing: once you start watching, you're going to keep watching. They just told on SmackDown, on their biggest show of the week.
But they didn't tell us anything.
Yeah, they did. They said Roman Reigns not wrestling anymore.
They didn't say those words. Those words never happened.
Yeah, they did. They said Braun Strowman is now facing Bill Goldberg.
And never addressed the fact that they had been advertising for all this time that it was Roman Reigns versus Goldberg.
I understand. Why is this such a big deal for you?
Because people definitely want to see Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Yes,
contrary to what he said
Right.
on his Instagram on Wednesday, that many people didn't want to see him, there are a lot of people who are tuning in to see him. They're not going to see him. There's been zero explanation as to why. It's almost like the show has aired already, and they edited the Coliseum video afterwards because the match didn't happen and acted like it was never going to happen. I think it's an issue that should have been addressed in some even storyline fashion to explain to us fans who may be invested in that match, of which there are many out there, I think.
Okay, hold on.
Why it's not happening.
You saw the Avengers Endgame, or Infinity War, right?
I did.
They never once explained why the Incredible Hulk wasn't the Incredible Hulk.
No. Was the Incredible Hulk in the movie?
No.
They totally explained why the Incredible Hulk wasn't in the movie. Bruce Banner explained it. He couldn't do it. He tried.
And
they
guess
explained.
what? Roman
they
Reigns
explained.
can't do it. He can't make the match.
But where's the explanation? That's the question. There's zero explanation.
To be fair, we didn't learn about Bruce Banner and Hulk having issues until Endgame.
Okay, so are you saying they should,
So-
if that's the analogy you're using, should they do something then or at WrestleMania?
No, they'll wait till SummerSlam because Endgame is
It's a different movie.
So was Endgame and Infinity War.
But, oh my, they. So if you go to see the Packers versus the Bears,
Yes.
and the Packers are replaced by the Carolina Panthers at the last minute, no one tells you why. You're at the Packers-Bears game.
Completely different.
How is it different?
Because,
it's the same
because
thing.
it's the whole team. It's not one player.
Roman Reigns, for some people, is the whole team. Just because you don't like him.
I do. I like Roman. Do not say that. That is not fair. I have no issues with Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is fantastic. I've been a Roman Reigns guy since before Roman Reigns was cool.
Well, that's because you're a WWE apologist.
Sometimes because I understand what they're doing. I understand the product.
In this case, you're far from articulating that understanding in a reasonable way. I don't understand how it's okay to say.
Pump the brakes.
Whoops! All
So-
this we talked about. No, never mentioned it. Now
Hold on a
it's
second.
Braun Strowman versus
Have
Goldberg.
you ever gone to a sporting event? Let's say a baseball game.
Yes, I've been to those.
Okay.
I've sat at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, and this is going to be the hard analogy for you because you don't understand anything about sports. But let's say there was a pitcher you really wanted to see, and I want to date it because Nolan Ryan, okay, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, supposed to be pitching against the Milwaukee Brewers. I buy my ticket to go see the Brewers against Nolan Ryan. I get in my seat, and guess what happens? Nolan Ryan pulled a hamstring during warm-ups.
Okay.
Well, guess what? Now there's a new pitcher taking Nolan
Did they
Ryan's
tell
spot.
you he pulled a hamstring during warm-ups?
Right before the game starts.
Okay, so
As
they
I'm
didn't
already
just
sitting in my
they
seat.
didn't just put a new pitcher out there and not explain why. Because that's essentially what WWE did tonight.
But maybe Roman Reigns pulled his hamstring.
Tell us that. Finish your analogy, please, because it's fun watching you crash and burn.
Sometimes that's what happens. You don't
Yeah,
know
but
until you're in the
they
seat.
explain. We talked about as a promoter what you would do if a talent couldn't make it to the show, and the responsibility the promoter has
Yes.
if somebody who can't show up for a pulled hamstring on the day of the show, how you'd handle that. And you explained very articulately how you would handle that. You have a responsibility to the ticket purchaser.
Yes.
Now, again, I agree. I don't think there is a single soul who's not going to buy or watch WrestleMania because Roman Reigns isn't on it. But I do think that in one of your marquee matchups on the card, you have a responsibility to A, announce the change, which
Yes.
they met that responsibility tonight.
Yes.
B, announce the change, which they didn't meet the responsibility of doing tonight.
But if you
It's like I went to McDonald's and ordered a Big Mac and got a Happy Meal. Not with that Junior Mac, the little one.
it depends what the toy is, right?
No, I wanted a Big Mac. Special sauce.
You like your lettuce and cheese. But again, they did. If you are watching WrestleMania and you see now it's Goldberg and Braun Strowman, yeah, you're like, what the what? What just happened? And you're curious, and you're going to try to find the answer that you didn't get right now. Well, you'll find out tomorrow why.
Regardless, everyone's
If
going to
another
watch
organization
PBR
did
I
this,
Sports.
you'd
forgot
be all
Linda
over
was
them.
even here.
Because maybe Linda can find your path here, because I just can't even see not just what lane you're in, but what road you're on.
I'm
in
right
trying
down
to
the
explain
middle.
This. You're
I'm
furthest
taking up
from
both
it.
lanes.
You're the furthest from it. Linda, do you understand what he's saying? Because I'm lost.
I feel personally that, regardless, I mean, I can understand you, Dave, a little bit here.
Thank you, Linda.
I feel everyone will obviously still watch, and, we all need not just our sports, but we need our wrestling. We've been looking forward to WrestleMania all year, and despite everything going on, we'll still get a great product delivered, and, I really wish they would have had some type of lead up to it, but I'll still watch, of course, and I think they will still deliver a great match. We got two big guys, so, kind of if you want to circle back to the size mattering, I think we'll
Where
have a
did
great
size
match
come into
overall.
play in all this?
Then anytime you talk. Look, here's the thing. In a society that gets pissed off about everything, I got gypped. You owe me this. I'm entitled to this. I'm entitled to that. Nobody's going to care.
Okay, so what would you have done?
Explain it.
That's what I said. I said, be real and tell them the truth.
But they didn't. And you're saying there's nothing
Okay,
wrong
well,
in the
then they
fact that they
didn't do it.
didn't.
No.
So should they have or should they have?
Yes, they should have, but they didn't. So now let's move on. I don't understand what the big deal is. It's pro wrestling.
It's something people are spending money they almost don't have anymore on. And it's money that some people paid to see a particular star on.
Yes.
And the company knew for at least a week when they were still advertising this guy that he wouldn't be there.
Yes.
They then just simply changed it. Like that Men in Black thing with the flash in your eye. Like you never knew that Roman Reigns was supposed to take on Goldberg. That it was always going to be.
Braun Strowman is.
That it was always going to be Braun Strowman. Have they ever done this? Give me an example where they've done this. And again, I think they've done it many a time when unforeseen circumstances
I know
have
they did
caused them
it
to
at a
change.
Survivor Series when the Ultimate Warrior skipped out of town and they had to put Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, teaming up with, I think it was Macho Man or Razor Ramon.
And how'd they explain it?
They didn't. They didn't even explain that Warrior left. They just did an angle on PrimeTime Wrestling the week of, and they switched around the entire main event.
But
There
they
you go.
did an
See?
angle to explain it.
Yeah. But they didn't say why he wasn't there. Michael Cole explained the angle when he threw the graphic up.
I just can't. I didn't think going live with you twice in one night would literally put me near aneurysm state, but it has. My head literally hurts.
Because you care too much about the
No,
details.
I don't care. I don't give a damn about this match being changed.
Well,
I don't give a damn about it.
9.5 minutes on it.
The question is was WWE responsible, and did they do the right thing by not providing any explanation whatsoever as to why their top star, arguably, is not in this match?
You know what? I also believe that they figured because he's on Instagram with a gazillion followers that anyone that truly loves and cares about Roman Reigns understands he's not going to be there.
I think actually that's why they had to make the change, because now he said something.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it is out there, as you say, but I don't.
Again, it's not going to matter on Monday morning. It's not going to matter Sunday morning.
It may not matter.
To be honest, it doesn't matter right now.
Share your thoughts with us.
I want a show of hands, everyone that thinks it matters.
We're not virtual. We can't see them.
Nobody cares.
Cal raised his hand. You got heat.
He needs to learn. He needs to learn.
I am going on record. There should have been some form of an explanation as to why their top talent
Is
is
it gonna
not
change
going to
how
be
you
at
sleep
WrestleMania.
tonight?
I'm not talking about what happens at Mania. I've not said anything about Braun Strowman having a bad, good, or whatever match with Goldberg. I've not said anything about the match. I've simply talked about tonight.
Make this perfectly clear.
They did not frame it.
Yes, they absolutely should have said something, without a doubt. But guess what? We didn't get it. Okay? It's like not getting the apology you want. Okay.
Or the right meal at McDonald's.
We're going to go do the next thing. And you've had terrible luck at McDonald's, especially the one down by Rosemont. I have video of you pulling a Jim Cornette.
That was Arta's fault. That was Arta's fault. I did not put.
Poor Consuela, you cut a promo on her over a straw.
Yeah,
it was over a straw.
Cut a promo on the manager, not the person who shouldn't have been working there.
Yes.
That's different. I want to hear your thoughts, and many of you are chiming in, and we'll try to get to those in a minute. In fact, we'll get to them now. Aaron. Yep, can't say that on TV.
Whoops.
When you have screen names like that, it's difficult to keep a job. But said, my mind over your matter says we need an explanation. Question from Richard Warlock on Twitter. Will Goldberg drop the title to Strowman? I think you've said no, right, David Hero?
Not a chance.
David Stronach mentioning Hulk Hogan's shoot interview, which actually we were watching earlier on about his match with Rock at WrestleMania 18, which we're going to be talking about tomorrow on PrimeTime.
Here's the thing. Everyone that's saying that they are owed an explanation, you already know why he's not going to be there. So what's the big deal?
Again,
we just want one, you know? We want one.
But
entertain us.
Roman Reigns gave you a heartfelt answer as to why he's not going to be there. So why do we need to have some made-up, fabricated story as to now why Braun Strowman's taking his spot?
You said earlier because it's wrestling.
Yeah.
That's what they do. It's all made-up, fabricated stories.
Okay, but we know he's not going to be there. The guy that was in the match said, hey, I'm not being there. I have family responsibilities to take care of.
To the people who saw that.
Which was like 10 million people.
But was Roman Reigns the one responsible for advertising the match on his Instagram account? Was he the promoter?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So I'm not sure. I like that shirt, Linda.
Thank you.
Folks, Al Snow is waiting in the wings. As you know, earlier we were going to have Al join us on PrimeTime. This one talked too much and we ran out of time. So we did during the Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels match, since we had already seen it, we had a pre-taped time and interviewed Al.
Well, Al's also very busy because he's going to go live in a little bit too.
Live in just a little while, and we will be airing that in just a few minutes here. But now that we know what the match is going to be, David, now that we know it's Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns, we haven't booked it, we haven't talked about it. Goldberg may win, but how do we get there?
Well, if Goldberg can defeat The Fiend, he can definitely beat Braun Strowman. I fully expect to see a spear. I doubt he's going to get a jackhammer on Braun Strowman. He barely could get the jackhammer on The Fiend. God, I hope it goes longer than a couple minutes. I really do, because otherwise you're truly going to bury Braun Strowman. And what made him the #1 contender all of a sudden? I'm sure that... What?
I'll keep going. Because maybe they could have explained that as part of the story.
You wanted to explain why Roman Reigns wasn't going to be there. You never said why is Braun Strowman going to be there.
Oh, my God. Go. Just go.
I can't. Serious. It's logic. Come on, it's psychology. You all want Roman Reigns to understand why he's not there. I want to know why Braun Strowman's there.
Which means you want to know why Roman's not there.
No, I could care less. I know why he's not going to be there. But why'd you pick Braun Strowman instead? Was it a coin flip? Well, heads I win, tails you lose.
Linda, how can people interact with us here live tonight on Reaction, our first live Reaction post-show? How can they engage?
Well, we have all of our social media channels. We've got PWR 360 via YouTube, via Twitter, via Facebook, Twitch, and of course, free on Fight TV. We want your comments. We want some interaction. We want some reaction regarding tonight's SmackDown right now, as well as WrestleMania, of course. Your predictions, what you think, and why you think that Braun Strowman is now the #1 contender for the Universal Championship.
And Linda, now that we know it is Braun Strowman who is a contender for the championship this weekend at WrestleMania, what do you think of the match, now that we can talk about it publicly?
Well, I don't think Strowman will come through with the title, but I don't like Dave said. I mean, I want this to not be a squash match. Want to see some type of heat. We didn't get the heat to lead up to this championship match. So, I mean, even if it takes, like I said earlier, I want to hear Strowman say, I'm next. Get in, they need that face-to-face confrontation. And even if it's just that at the start of the match, when they introduce it, it being a title match, that'll be a little bit for me that will get me a little bit more pumped, a little bit more excited, and just hopefully, and I'll say this, Damien, hopefully it'll be a hard-hitting match at WrestleMania as well.
All right. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
See, what I wish they would have done is they should have made the winner of John Cena and Bray Wyatt the #1 contender to then go on and face Goldberg. I think that would have made a lot of sense. Because then you have John Cena. People think John Cena could win. You could have Bray Wyatt win. And then Bray Wyatt can beat John Cena, then go on and get his title back from Bill Goldberg if you want Goldberg to be done after WrestleMania.
Here's an idea, David, and this comes to us from Facebook from a user by the name of Luis Miraz, or Luis. Sorry if we're saying it wrong, Miraz. Hey, there's heat there, right? Maybe it should have been Matt Riddell.
There's no way. There's no way.
Because he weighs less than 205?
No, Matt Riddle has pissed off Bill Goldberg.
Legit.
He has pissed off Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And those guys just don't want to work with him.
Yep. Which would not be entertaining for us.
No, because it would wind up being a shoot. And I love Brock Lesnar's chances over anybody. Goldberg, a little bit older, not quite the MMA fighter, may struggle with Matt Riddell, but not. And here's the thing. I would much rather see Braun Strowman than Matt Riddell in that match.
Bro.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're exhausting. That was a lot of work just to get through one match. What's next? Don't we have Otis Piotis somewhere on there?
So I want to continue talking about SmackDown. I want to hear your thoughts about Otis. Ziggler's first one-on-one match at WrestleMania. He and Otis will go one-on-one.
I want to talk about who the truth person is.
That was Goldust, wasn't it?
No.
That wasn't GTV?
No, it was not GTV. I mean, I'm just curious to see what character that's going to be. I mean, now you just turned Mandy Rose babyface. Sonya Deville and Dolph Ziggler are now a team. They were trying to play with Mandy's heart. Otis, he's going to get a win at WrestleMania.
You like Otis?
He is one of the most charismatic guys they have on both brands.
That segment, while long, and I think it was good that it was long, between all of them tonight was, I think, excellent.
Yeah.
Reading the messages and sending the messages and having the real time. They couldn't do that in a live setting.
Otis is like the everyman's man. You know what I mean?
He's a man.
And it's like Dolph Ziggler has waited 15 years to have a singles match at WrestleMania, and now it's going to be to Otis. And I think it'll be very entertaining. I fully expect Mandy to get involved in the finish. And, yeah, I think that match is going to have real heat, real emotion. And one of the few matches on the entire WrestleMania card that you're actually going to cheer,
see the one that's advertised?
Wins. No. There's other matches that are advertised. Why are you so frustrated with that? There's other matches that rumor innuendo are being changed also. Those aren't being talked about. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Okay. Have the primary competitors in any other match for WrestleMania changed?
Yes.
Who?
I'm not going to tell you that. You said it's a spoiler-free show.
I now understand how frustrating those many years on the USA Network must have been for Gorilla Monsoon.
What do you mean?
Ask a direct question and get a slithering indirect answer.
I give you multiple answers.
Yeah, yes. It's not a multiple choice, and even when it is, there's one answer.
I just give you options to think of.
Okay, let's talk about options to think of. Another match we want to talk about that we didn't get to tonight on Primetime is Baron Corbin, the King Corbin, who I know you love, who are a big fan of.
Yes.
Will go one-on-one with Elias.
Is there anyone lately that has had as much steam to be completely cooled off as Elias?
Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch is still going to be in the top 2 matches on one of the 2 nights. Elias is like opener or second or third match from the bottom.
He's on the card. Well, everybody's on the card. You know what they did? They took the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and just made singles matches out of it.
Well, yeah, it's easier. I want to know what Gronk is going to do. Maybe he's the reason Roman Reigns isn't going to have the match.
Okay. So how do they explain that after not explaining it?
Maybe Roman Reigns isn't a Patriots fan.
Elias, King Corbin, who do you take in that match? I don't know why you don't like Elias.
You know what it is? I like Elias. I think he checks all the boxes. Good-looking guy, good size, can talk, entertaining, everything. I think the injuries have derailed him more than they think. Baron Corbin a year ago was wrestling Kurt Angle.
He's the king, though. Look, recently on the, I think it was the Bruce Pritchard podcast, they were talking about Val Venus and how he had a gimmick, if you will, that was very limiting, meaning there was only so much you could do with him, and he not being the only star that happened to, nor is it his fault. But I think Elias is in a similar situation. There's only so much he can do with the guitar gimmick, and after that, who does he become? What does he become?
I don't know, because he got Elias over and it fizzled. And a lot of other guys have jumped past him. Baron Corbin is the right guy for Elias, because Baron Corbin is a heat machine, a heat magnet. And watching the recap as to how they got to this match where Elias took the bump off of the scaffolding or the sweet box, whatever it is, which he shouldn't be able to wrestle at all. You'd think he'd be concussed. But no one's explaining that storyline. No one's upset about that. It's just another match.
I heard that.
It's a match we talked about earlier with Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. It's just a regular main event you'd probably see on SmackDown, or a mid-card match you'd see on SmackDown. There's no consequences. What does Elias get besides some revenge? And if there's no crowd to react, is he really getting anything?
We have a lot more to talk about. And some more hot news that we got to earlier. What just happened in my head was you said something that took me to Dark Side of the Ring, and I really want to talk about New Jack.
No.
And I don't know when we're going to talk about New Jack. Maybe I want it tomorrow's PrimeTime.
Why?
So do you want to talk about it tonight?
No, there's no reason. Why give that any more publicity?
Well, because I think there were some key takeaways, such as get trained. As a promoter, be responsible.
Somebody bragged that he got geeked up on coke and tried to kill 3 different people.
3.
Yeah.
Went to trial for 2 of them.
And he laughed about, like he had no fear of, there's my word again, consequences.
Look, now we're transitioning a little bit into talking about this week's episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Look, as I watched that, I didn't just cringe. I said, this is just not right. This is just not right. And he was allowed to do these things. He's not guilty alone, which I think Sandman or somebody else made that point in the documentary. Mm-hmm. He's not guilty alone. He was allowed to do these things. But it does get to a point, David, when there's something happening in the ring,
I blame
and it's
every
difficult
promoter
to stop
that booked him going forward, knowing what he did.
After the mass transit incident.
Yes, absolutely.
So, did mass transit bear any responsibility in that matchup? Because New Jack did try to explain, not justifying the fact that he literally tried to murder 3 people in the ring, but he had a reason in his mind as to why he was going to work, stiff isn't even the word, why he was going to try to, well, God, he can't even get there. I mean, there's no word to get there.
No. You have a better chance of having WWE explain why Roman Reigns isn't at WrestleMania than to explain the actions of New Jack right now.
Folks, we're going to take a very brief timeout. In fact, less than 45 seconds. And when we come back, we are going to share with you the latest thoughts and comments from one Al Snow, who tonight takes OVW to the national broadcast airwaves. We'll be back in just a moment.
Collar and elbow bouts usually began as a contest of balance. The opening position or stance featured the hand and arm positioning which gave the wrestling style its name. Contestants faced one another, each placing one hand on his adversary's shoulder and gripping his adversary's forearm with his other hand. This establishes the opening box, prevents bull-like rushes or throat grabs, minimizes disadvantages in height or arm's reach, and prevents deft footwork. Here, the champion squares off with the challenger. Each holds the stance until his opponent forces or permits him to break.
Not only is Wrestlemania this Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday night, not only is the Pro Wrestling Report going to be coming to you live with special episodes of Primetime and Reaction over the course of the next 3 days, but another huge show is debuting nationwide tonight at midnight Eastern, 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. And joining us right now to talk about that is the one, the only, the one who haveth head, Al Snow. Al, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. What an amazing introduction, Dameon. I must bow down to your oratory skills.
Wait,
or should I say oral skills?
Should I be bowing down?
Oral skills?
He says you have great oral skills.
Yeah,
he said oratory skills.
Oratory, Dave.
Clearly.
Oratory.
Good gosh. Al, how the heck are you today down in Louisville?
If I were doing any better, I'd be jealous of myself, Dameon.
Well, tonight's the big debut, OVW Wrestling. Tell us where, tell us what we're going to see tonight on the broadcast.
Tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 Pacific, OVW actually goes national on the YTA network, the U2 America network. That's U2, like is also T-O-O, not U2, but T-U-B-E.
You just confused me. Not U2 like the singers?
It's U2, Y-O-U-T-O-O, America network.
America.
They've changed it to the YTA network.
Okay.
And we are going national tonight at midnight. It's a huge accomplishment. OVW's been around since 1993. It has been a prominent wrestling training and skills development proving ground for many years, for decades, both for WWE, Impact Wrestling, and it has been its own operational territory in a day and an age where territories are not supposed to exist. It's not only continued to survive but thrive, and this is a big step for us to go national on a national pro network. So we're thrilled. We're just absolutely thrilled.
A lot of hard work got you to this point. And obviously, given the global pandemic situation and the dire situation here in the United States, we talked a couple of weeks ago with you on this program that content is always king, but it's a challenge right now. So what preview of what we're going to see, what kind of preview, rather, can you give of what we're going to see tonight on OVW?
Well, here in Louisville, Kentucky, we operate under the Kentucky Boxing Wrestling Commission. They have restricted all events until May, as of right now, which is literally killing me. But you take crap and you make shoe polish. You know what I mean? You do your best. You take what you have and you do your best. And number one rule in wrestling is the show must go on. Yeah. And it's a blessing for us in a way, because we have a whole brand new audience on a national level that don't know anything about us. They don't know anything about the wrestlers. They don't know anything about the characters. They don't know anything about the storylines. And in OVW, I try very hard to focus on selling the who the wrestlers are and the why. Those are the very most preeminent and most important things for an audience for any kind of show, but especially for a wrestling show. As you'll see, I'm sure as you watch other wrestling, the emphasis is always, the focus is on selling the what the wrestlers do, and we sell the who and the why.
What?
And with that, the who and the why.
What?
Don't start. this is a blessing because it gives me a chance to create, an entertaining compilation show. Tonight's episode will be kind of an introduction to OVW, where we go back and we highlight a lot of our. We did a lot of major events that were 2-hour live television specials that we produced here locally. One with the U.S. Army at Fort Knox, down on 4th Street Live, where we did our 1000th episode, and then returned again for September 11th. Slugger Field in Louisville here. Numerous ones that we did that were very successful 2-hour specials. We're drawing from those to kind of show the bigger events, highlight some of the bigger matches, and then the weeks going forward, we'll start to go through and recap literally what were. I didn't realize at the time, but some of these are 6 and 8 month long story arcs.
Yeah.
That are very in depth and really develop a lot of character and a lot of motivation, and allow that national audience to catch up with us, so that when we go go back to the typical wrestling shows every week, that audience will be right on the same page.
Well, Al, we're excited tonight. U2 America, YTA. I understand, though, that 2 of your dear, close personal friends are also going to bring an update to the fans during that broadcast tonight.
That is true, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Going forward, every single week, we are very honored to have the PWR, the Pro Wrestling Report, doing the hot news, the headlines each and every week as a segment, as a part of OVW Wrestling. So I'm very excited about that too, honestly, because I think that that partnership is going to really add something to the show for us, and I think it's going to bring your audience to OVW, and then OVW is going to hopefully get more exposure for Pro Wrestling Report. And I really, honestly, I think for the fans, I think it's a great segment that kind of catches them up, on what the weekly events and the happenings that are going on in the world of wrestling in a quick little segment on the show. So I think it's tremendous.
Well, we are proud to be a part of it. Thank you for affording us that opportunity. Best of luck to you tonight with the debut on U2 America. And that can be found across all kinds of providers. It can be found on Roku, anywhere you can watch Netflix, I think, just about, right?
Pretty much, yes. They're between their network of affiliates, both broadcast and cable, and their streaming. I think we're in about 44 million homes across the United States.
That's huge. Best of luck to you, Al. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here live tonight on Primetime. And we will be talking to you again very, very soon, I'm sure, right here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
You people want to see it?
The wait is over.
Got to give the people what they want.
All Elite Wrestling is now available on AEW+.
What are we seeing?
This is your chance to watch AEW Dynamite, commercial-free and live every Wednesday night.
Let's do this.
Exclusively on the Fight Digital Sports television platform.
AEW.
AEW+ is available in over 100 countries outside the U.S., Canada, Germany, and France. AEW+ can be viewed on your smart TV, mobile device, Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, or at Fight.tv.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Starting this month, AEW+ will also feature every episode of AEW Dark. Download the Fight app now and join the revolution today.
Not only is Wrestlemania this Saturday and Sunday, tomorrow and Sunday night, not only is the Pro Wrestling Report... We just time warped. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. PWR reaction, not primetime. It was right after primetime. We talked to Al earlier tonight, but huge news from OVW. And it doesn't stop there, because OVW, Collar and Elbow brand, Pro Wrestling Report, hand in hand working together to bring things to the fans.
And if you're Collar and Elbow, you can be a ring general.
What?
Simple. Go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use promo code PWR360 this weekend and save 20% on your entire order. We have some tremendous new shirts in stock just in time for Quarantine Mania.
Wrestling Mania, 36.1 and 36.2.
Yes, exactly.
Or would it be 36 and 36.1?
Or how about 36A and 36B?
How about 36-1 and 36-2?
If that's what you want, then run with it.
That was a whole different option. And I can't run anywhere. There's an anchor tied to my ass.
Well, really?
We are live, folks, on Fight TV, our tremendous partner, where you can also order and watch and enjoy Wrestlemania right here on Fight, the same way you're watching the Pro Wrestling Report. We're also live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and with the lovely Linda Kay. Linda, welcome back. All right, have you figured out what Dave was talking about earlier? Nope.
I just circling around myself. So,
Linda, you're going to be with us.
But here's the beauty of it. I've made everybody think.
Linda, you're going to be with us live again tomorrow. We've got all kinds of special programming. Tomorrow, David Hero, 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. We're going to be live with PrimeTime, special editions of PrimeTime. Yes, so nice, we'll do it twice, on Saturday and on Sunday. Special edition of PrimeTime Live, 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. And then after WrestleMania, as long as it ends before midnight, we'll have a live edition of Reaction covering each of the shows. And that should be fun. But tonight we're reacting, and we didn't talk enough about the Bray Wyatt and John Cena situation.
We haven't talked about it at all.
I brought it up, but then you spun me right round. Not my baby. Right round.
Right.
Round.
Exactly. And Bray Wyatt and John Cena, Firefly Funhouse match. I think this match is going to be the gimmick match of all gimmick matches. I don't believe, if it's me, that this match should be in a wrestling ring. I think it should be much like the Mankind Undertaker Boiler Room Brawl, or maybe even like one of the Ultimate Deletion matches. It has to be just full of gimmicks. If it's in the ring, kind of defeats the purpose of being in a Firefly Funhouse. The one thing that's bothered me about this match, with the promos leading up to it, is John Cena has come across like the heel. Condescending, talking down to Bray Wyatt. Like even tonight, he said he's not even beneath him, he's lower than that. Where Bray Wyatt comes across as the victim, and John Cena is the bully. And I wish this match was going to be in front of fans, because I honestly believe John Cena might be booed out of the building with the way he's been acting with his promos towards Bray Wyatt.
All right, and earlier tonight we talked about this match extensively, but did they do the right thing going home on SmackDown leading into this contest this weekend?
They didn't touch. I mean, John Cena comes out, he cuts his promo, and each side of the ring in the audience area, the gimmick puppets popped up. Ramblin' Rabbit and, I don't know, Tony the Tiger was another one of them, I think. And they're like all talking to John Cena like...
Smokey the Bear?
I think he was there. And they're like all talking smack to John Cena. And then all of a sudden, Bray Wyatt pops up behind him, kind of startles Cena, lights go out, and then Bray Wyatt's gone again. So they didn't touch, which will be great. But I want to see... Now, The Fiend couldn't beat Bill Goldberg.
Oh, my.
Okay? John Cena, I would like to believe, is better than Bill Goldberg. He's younger, stronger.
Better now?
He's had better matches. He's beat more top names. Bray Wyatt, if you go with that history, should lose to John Cena. But to do good business, Bray Wyatt's going to get back on track and defeat John Cena. Even though he always says never give up, I really think that John Cena is going to get quite the whooping.
Linda, overall thoughts on WWE SmackDown on Fox tonight?
Well, in regards to this match, I think it's going to be more of a mental challenge for Cena more than a physical challenge. And if it does indeed take place at a separate funhouse, carnival, crazy type setting, I think it'll be more of a mental game that he'll have to overcome. And in that regard, this match will go longer and be more of a intense matchup versus the previous match The Fiend had against Goldberg. But definitely looking forward to this. I thought it was a great way to end SmackDown as our go-home show, so to speak. And this is definitely one of the matches I'm most looking forward to. Just for, again, the whole craziness factor. I want to see where this will take place. And I do believe that The Fiend will come on top. Let's make this even with Cena and Bray Wyatt at WrestleManias.
Well, Thank you, Linda. Did we also had a Bailey was Bailey had a match, or did she have a match, or was she just commentating? Did you catch that part of SmackDown?
No, I missed that part. I
How about
believe
Sami Zayn
Cal
on
was
commentary?
watching it. I know
She
Sami
was
Zayn was
commentating.
Yeah, but I think
Oh, Bailey?
she got a big kick to the face from Tamina.
Face though, yeah.
Yeah.
And Sasha got knocked down as well.
How do you feel about Tamina in this matchup, David?
You know, they never explained how she got in this match. Hasn't been on TV in a year. Winds up in a title match. No backstory as to why they did it. I'm
They
confused.
told some of the backstory tonight with her involvement. Michael Cole did it on commentary. Your ears don't work?
I told you I missed that part.
So then how are you saying they didn't do it when they clearly did
Because
it?
I didn't hear it.
But they did it. So just because, what is that, a tree falls in the forest and you didn't see it?
Oh,
does
so
the tree
hold on
still...
a second. So then the certain people that didn't see Roman Reigns on Instagram say he's not going to be there means it didn't happen?
Yes.
So then I should not know why Tamina's in the match because I didn't see the
Was
promo.
Roman Reigns' Instagram response a programmed show
More
that people
people
tuned
saw
in? The
that
final
Instagram.
show, the final show that they would be able to see before
Listen,
WrestleMania this weekend,
pump the
WrestleMania
brakes.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6.
Guys, more people watched Roman Reigns' Instagram than they watched Fox tonight.
More people watched it over and over again than they watched Fox tonight.
It had like 12 million.
You don't know that.
views.
You don't have those analytics. Why can't you just drop this subject? Why do you have to keep beating a dead tiger?
Ooh, that's too soon. Because there's lots of them lately. Especially in
Something happened
Oklahoma.
with Tiger Woods?
No. Oh, he got a worse beating than most of the other ones did. He got that golf club to the back of his truck. Remember that incident? But you know what? There's a lot of things we don't know about WrestleMania. We truly,
That is true.
We truly don't know what the Firefly Funhouse match is.
Which is great.
Because they haven't explained it to us.
Yep.
We don't truly know what a Boneyard match is. Because they haven't really explained that to us, have they?
No.
We don't know why Tamina truly is in the women's title match, do they? And guess what else we don't know? And guess what else we don't know?
They've totally
we don't
explained
know why Roman Reigns isn't wrestling Goldberg. They haven't told us that either. You know why? Because it's pro wrestling. It's suspense. It's supposed to make you want to tune in to see what's going to happen. So it's pretty simple.
They gave away the finish.
No, they didn't. They did not.
The finish is Roman ain't in the match and he's been replaced. That's the
announced
finish.
match. So just because we don't know everything isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes it's more interesting. We didn't know the NWO was going to come down to the ring during Sting's match with Triple H. We didn't know DX was going to be there. We didn't know the Hardys were going to show up in the ladder match that one time. And we definitely didn't know when the Ultimate Warrior came down to save Hulk Hogan from the beatdown from Papa Shango and Sid. So, with that being said, sometimes it's really important to not know what's going on in wrestling.
Don't do it.
And with that, David Hero.
You're going to put that on that?
Yeah.
You're going to put that on that stink?
Absolutely.
That is a damn shame, folks. I'm exhausted.
I feel great.
I'm exhausted. You know what I think? Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
So, tomorrow, we've got 3 brand new live shows for you. Thank God Drew's going to be joining us. No offense, Linda. What I mean by that
Drew
is...
can save you from logic?
I find Drew to be a logical human being, yes.
Okay.
How about Marty? Marty Bell, who joined us from NWA, former TNA Knockout.
She was fantastic.
Earlier tonight on PrimeTime.
Yes.
We'll be seeing more of her as the show goes on as well. But tomorrow, brand new 3 episodes of the Pro Wrestling Report. Primetime Live at 1 p.m. Primetime Live at 4 p.m. And then reaction after WrestleMania.
That's at Central Time, right?
Those are Eastern times, yes.
Oh, I got to be up before noon?
You have to go live at noon. So whenever you choose to get up prior to that is up to you, as long as you're on set by noon.
Brutal.
This set, not
Brutal.
a set.
A set of what?
Thank you, Tires. Linda, for joining us as well here late on a Friday night. And thank you more importantly to all of you out there all over the world who are joining us live across our social media channels. If you haven't already, do us a quick favor. Subscribe on YouTube. Turn on those notifications as well. And also like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at PWR360. And welcome to all of our new viewers on Twitch. We've started broadcasting on Twitch, David Hero, and that I don't even know what that is. Something about
It's a 5-letter
Sonic
word.
the Hedgehog.
Yeah, I think it's a video game gimmick, right?
Donkey Kong Country?
I know House of Hardcore's on Twitch.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. That's where
And I
heard
believe
it from.
TNA got kicked off of Twitch for about 30 days.
There was a situation, absolutely. Linda, thank you for joining us. All of you, thank you for joining us. The comments continue. If you're watching the show in archive form, just continue to share those comments, and we interact with you even
And
after
share
the show.
Tell your friends.
Absolutely, and maybe they can help us follow your circular motions earlier in the broadcast.
What I do is I create
We're in overtime.
scenarios for you to think differently. Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Primetime Live, where we go back and take a look at a WrestleMania matchup of the past, one of the best WrestleMania matchups of the past, and hot news, a lot of it brewing here as WrestleMania comes upon us. Thank you for tuning in. Farewell, everyone. We'll see you next time right here on PWR Reaction Live on Fight TV.